A woman, along with 2 daughters, arrive at a large mansion. On that same day, the mother marries the owner of the house, a man who already has a daughter named Agnes. Agnes quietly shows Elvira around the house. It's grand, elegant, and filled with wealth. From one of the windows, Elvira looks out and sees the prince's castle in the distance, the same prince whose poems she has always admired. At that moment, she decides she wants to marry him. That night, during dinner, something unexpected happens. Agnes' father suddenly vomits blood and collapses. Moments later, he is dead. Agnes is grieving in her room when Elvira enters and begins touching her belongings, looking around curiously. Agnes, filled with anger, tells her to leave immediately. Then she reveals something cruel. Her father only married Elvira's mother for money. Elvira's expression changes instantly. She runs to her mother and tells her the truth. They have no money left. Her mother collapses in shock. She is getting older and can no longer rely on marrying rich men to survive. The next day, a man arrives at the house with an announcement. All young women are invited to a royal ball at the castle. He hands invitations to both Agnes and Elvira. Determined, Elvira's mother takes her to a surgeon. She knows that in her current condition, no one will choose Elvira. The process is brutal. First, the surgeon uses a large plier to remove Elvira's braces. Then her mother chooses a new nose shape for her. Without hesitation, the surgeon begins reshaping it. Using a hammer and a drill, striking her nose repeatedly, Elvira screams in pain. The next day, she and Agnes are sent to an etiquette school. There, the instructor explains that one girl will be chosen as the lead dancer for the ball. They will be trained not only to dance, but also to interact with the prince and wealthy guests. During practice, Elvira is placed at the back, while Agnes is positioned at the front. At dinner, Elvira is only given lime water. Agnes asks her stepmother to arrange a proper funeral for her father, but the stepmother refuses, saying they have no money. Agnes questions her. Then how was there money for Elvira's surgeries? With no answer, Agnes leaves and goes to the room where her father's body lies, slowly decaying. At school, the girls continue training. The instructor openly mocks Elvira, saying she is only there because her mother paid for it. That night, Elvira looks at herself in the mirror. She sees her body and feels inadequate. The next day, desperate, she approaches the instructor. The instructor calms her and gives her something strange, a worm egg. Meanwhile, Agnes returns home. She meets the stable boy, the one she secretly loves. But Agnes admits she is expected to marry the prince. Elsewhere, Elvira swallows the worm egg, believing it will make her better, smarter, thinner, more desirable. That night, Elvira hears noises from the stable. She goes to investigate and finds Agnes and the stable boy together. Suddenly, a horse nudges Elvira and she lets out a small sound. Agnes notices her but doesn't stop. Elvira runs away. The next morning, the mother scolds Agnes harshly and forces her to work with the servants. Elvira feels relieved. Her biggest obstacle is slowly being removed. After 3 full moons, Elvira's transformation becomes visible. Her nose is reshaped beautifully. The worm has taken effect. She is now slimmer, sharper, and more confident. But one obstacle still remains. Agnes. Elvira returns to the surgeon once again. This time her head is restrained. Her eyes are forced open, and lashes are painfully sewn onto her eyelids. That night, she feels intense hunger because of the worm inside her. Her eyes are still bandaged. She gets up and walks to the kitchen. Removing the bandages, she searches for food, but she can't see clearly. Agnes enters quietly and offers her a piece of cake. She has been banned from attending school. Meanwhile, the instructor has no choice left. Elvira becomes the lead dancer. Later, while bathing, Agnes notices something disturbing. Elvira's hair is starting to fall out. The next night, Elvira's dress arrives. Her mother wakes her. The box opens. Inside is a beautiful gown. Agnes is called to help her get dressed. As she does, a man approaches and tries to kiss her. Agnes rejects him and spits in his face. The man then adjusts Elvira's dress, fixing every detail. But when he touches her hair, it comes off in his hand. He silently brings her a wig. Now, Elvira finally feels complete. That night, she sees Agnes secretly holding a dress. Agnes reveals she is going to the ball. Elvira becomes furious and tears the dress apart. Heartbroken, Agnes goes to her father's body and falls asleep beside him. Then, something strange happens. A voice calls her. It is her dead mother. Small worms begin repairing her torn dress. Her mother gives her shoes and warns her, after midnight, everything will disappear. The night of the ball arrives. Elvira enters the grand hall. It is filled with elegant women. Her stomach begins to growl. One by one, the girls are presented before the prince. Then, it is Elvira's turn. She performs beautifully as the lead dancer. The prince is captivated. Now comes the final dance. The prince must choose. He walks among the girls, then stops in front of Elvira. He asks her to dance. They danced for a while, then suddenly, a girl in a blue dress enters. The entire hall falls silent. The prince leaves Elvira and dances with her instead. Elvira runs out, humiliated. Outside, she vomits worm eggs. Her mother rushes to her, wipes her face, and forces her to return. When Elvira refuses, she is slapped. Back inside, Elvira continues dancing with others. But during the final moment, she recognizes the girl. It's Agnes. The clock begins to strike. Agnes remembers the warning and runs away. The prince follows her. He finds her shoe and declares, whoever fits it will become his bride. Back at home, Elvira attacks Agnes, demanding the shoe. During the struggle, the shoe falls. Elvira picks it up, but it doesn't fit. Desperate, she picks up a cleaver. She marks her toes, then strikes. She screams in pain. Her mother arrives and helps her finish it, cutting her toes so the shoe will fit. The next morning, Elvira wakes up. Her feet are bandaged, soaked in blood. The prince has arrived. She tries to reach him, but she can barely walk. She crawls, falls, breaks down. She sees Agnes being chosen. The prince has found his bride. Elvira lies there. Then her little sister comes. She gives her an antidote. Moments later, Elvira begins to vomit. At first, nothing. Then the worms start coming out. She pulls them out one by one. Finally, she enters her mother's room. She takes the jewelry she sees her with another man and walks away. Together, both leave the house. They get on a horse and ride away.